Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I'm going to share with you one of the most spectacular and breathtaking chess games ever played. It's actually called the Mona Lisa of chess. Now, I don't know exactly why it's called that, because the Mona Lisa, I don't know if it's regarded as the best work of art of all time, but it's definitely the most famous, right? But nobody knows about this chess game. I mean, in terms of popularity, this is hardly the Mona Lisa of chess. It's like some random painting in like the seventh wing of a museum. But this game had everything. Incredible backstory, fascinating tactics, brilliant moves, a 17-move combination at the end. Stockfish gives this game the blessing, and I'm making this game right after Morocco just knocked out Spain of the World Cup. I mean, can you believe this Moroccan team? And before I show you this incredible game, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Babbel. Babbel is one of the top language learning apps in the world. All of the lessons are made by language experts, not some AI-generated nonsense. So you get short, practical bits of material. And right now, the winter holiday season is a great time to either learn a new language to expand your possibilities or refresh your skills with a current one. Maybe so you can get a good grade in school. So once you're done celebrating the holidays and exchanging some gifts with your friends or loved ones, why not learn some Spanish, like I am, for a New Year's resolution? Hola, me llamo Levi. Estoy aprendiendo español con Babbel. And remember, the recent Candidates Chess Tournament to determine who's going to play for the World Championship was played in Madrid, in Spain. Or should I say, España. And it's a beautiful vacation spot. But if you go there, you gotta be able to speak a little bit of Spanish, right? Y además, hay muchos canales de ajedrez que hablan español. Look, folks, you know the drill. To get started with Babbel today, you gotta click the link in the description. Or now they actually have a beautiful QR code, so you can pause and scan and get 60% off your Babbel subscription. Now, let's get back to the video. So, d4. Black plays g6 and invites an e4 opening, but instead white plays a mainline King's Indian defense. Now white has a choice. White can play many different lines here. Various h3 systems, bishop e3 or bishop g5, the four pawns attack, the main line, some side lines, the same-ish variation. In this game, white plays f3, which is in fact known as the same-ish. And the idea is to support the center with a pawn. Knight will not be going here. White will put the bishop here to prevent knight to g4, and white will start a trampoline of pawns going down this side of the board. So f3 is a very natural move. This knight oftentimes goes here and then ultimately out to g3. So we have castles. I don't know why that's highlighted. Bishop to e3. That was so weird. Why was b5 highlighted? Maybe I was just clicking around before I made the video. And now black has an option. So black can play the King's Indian defense in many, many ways. Black can play for the immediate e5, which is not that good against the same-ish, but it's definitely one of the options. Black can play for various c5s. The idea being that, yes, technically this looks like a free pawn, but there's various queen a5s, not right now, but this is sort of the general idea with tactics on the knight and the king here and so on. And then black can also sort of delay and maybe play a6, b5. So black plays knight c6. Knight c6 only tells us one thing. c5 will not be happening because you put the knight in front of the pawn. However, you reserve the right to play for e5 and for various queenside stuff. White plays knight e2. So far, neither side has really shown a huge amount, but the next move shows everything. Black plays rook b8. Like, you don't play this move unless you're gonna play a6 and b5, okay? So that's what black wants. And black is sort of arguing the bishop will not actually be able to support the stuff over here, and if you move your knight out to g3, in many lines, actually, black plays h5 and tries to target the knight and send it packing backwards into the position. Very interesting, actually. King's Indian is a fascinating opening. So, Bagirov plays queen d2. Queen d2 is not really biting anything, and this is what white wants. Very clear indication that white would like to come down and trade black's dark squared bishop. Morocco beat Spain. That is crazy. Wow. Anyway, queen d2 trying to go bishop h6. Black cannot really prevent that. Black chooses to play a6 and is looking to play the move b5 because, well, obviously. Now both sides are just implementing their game plans. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on. Basically, black is saying your plan is stupid. White is saying you're stupid. You underestimate my plan. h4. White is not castling because, again, like, while castling would be a natural move, you would castle directly into the attack. And also, excuse me, white is not acknowledging this. Because the thing is, once you acknowledge this, I will actually start some sort of attack. So essentially white is like, no, there's nothing there. I'm not worried about you. Now, a move you really don't want to play here with black is the move bishop h6, because while it's okay according to the computer, there is no reason to allow the queen there. Like, unless you put up a fight for it, the queen can really not be booted now and it will just live in the position for a long time. So instead of that, black plays e5. So black is now striking back in the center, and black is striking back on the other side as well. So we have b5, and we also have e5 while this is happening. So I mean, there's a battle in the center on the queen side and on the king side. Completely spectacular game. We have this naturally, and now white has many options. White can play the move that white plays in the game. White can also, it's never too late to acknowledge this before doing all the other stuff. And it's also not too late to do this. So white can acknowledge the queen side, acknowledge the center, and just ignore both and attack on the king side. That's what makes chess so fascinating, and the computer cannot really tell the difference between all of those moves. The computer seems to think it's best to take, and then play like d5, and then h5. So basically some weird combo of all three moves. White just plays this because it's the human move. Now, black should not take. First of all, if you take with the pawn, you ruin your structure for the entire game. Meaning, in all endgames, I will just get my pawns back very quickly, and the king is open, so that's dumb. Now, you do not want to play knight takes h5, because that doesn't actually block anything. I will play g4, and then you will promptly be checkmated very soon. So, you essentially don't even want to acknowledge that the pawn has arrived when I play the move h5. Black sort of acknowledges it and plays the move king h8. Not exactly scared, but just basically saying, if you take, I'm going to take, and I'm going to go here, and I'm not worried about this move coming with a check. Like, I'm already out of the way, rook f7 will defend, and rook f7 will be used as a counter-attacking measure. So the move king h8 is played by black, and white now, again, has a massive choice here. You can take on b5 in this position and then deal with the rest of the game, which I would do at this point. I think this kind of will permanently block the rook, and I think that is in white's best interest to successfully attack. If you never take the pawn, then black will take and black will attack. So knight to d5 is a very interesting move. The point of this is naturally to kick the knight like away from the action, play queen h6, and win the game. But now black seizes the opportunity to take on c4. Now, taking on b2 in and of itself is not scary whatsoever for white. So we have h takes g6, f takes g6, and now here. And I mean, black is just on the verge of completely dying, right? Like, I mean, there's nothing here. Nothing here. I mean, white is just knight here and mate. Right? Well, the other threat of this entire thing is that if rook f7, queen takes g6. So, I mean, it looks like really bad. Which is why black plays the move knight to h5, and white naturally plays the move g4. Now, you might notice that the eval has actually dropped like more or less to balance, but how is that possible? Well, here we begin one of many brilliant moves. This is what makes this game just beyond belief. White could have been patient here, and before the move g4 just brought the king to safety and defended the b2 pawn. Or just never allowed the rook to be active, but white thought this is an easy win, g4. Where does black move? Brilliant move number one. This move looks like it doesn't make any sense at all. Rook takes b2. What? So you leave your knight to die. The knight dies. Knight is dead. And then the next thing coming is this and mate. Or g7, right? The whole idea here for black, the entire idea of rook takes b2 and then all this, is that now white is blocking his own attack. And g5 puts the white queen in jail. The queen now cannot move anywhere, and suddenly white needs to spend time breaking the queen out with the move rook g1, which was never part of the plan. That was never the idea, right? And if it's going to be the Mona Lisa of chess, we got to have sheer brilliance. We have to have like spectacular, painting of a beautiful symbolic game on our hands, right? So now, you don't want black, sorry, if you're black, you don't want white to take and mate you, or play rook g7, right? So what do? Just like you did over here, you make the white position gluttonous, g4. And the idea is that if he takes, not only is his own attack bad moving forward, you can pop in with queen h4 check. Suddenly black is the one attacking white. Incredible stuff here. Shocking. So g4 is a fascinating move, making white slow down his own attack by blocking his rook with pawns. Just amazing. Remember how long castles was possible? It happens. Long castles in the middle of this absolute just crazy battle here, hitting the rook, forcing it either out or to eat one more pawn. But why would the rook? I mean, the rook's gonna get trapped, right? I don't know. Rook takes a2. Rook takes a2. Now, there are so many options here. White can take the pawn to open up the position. White can take this pawn to try to at least get the pawn back and try to march forward this way. White can also play f4. Like, everything is possible here to try to get a trade and get into g6. White plays the second brilliant move of this game. Now both sides are tied 1-1 in terms of brilliant moves. Crack my back, which was also a brilliant move. Knight e to f4. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? Knight e to f4. So the idea of this move is that, well, naturally, you're going to lose the knight. The knight really should be taken, because if you don't, it comes here. So you take the knight. So what the heck is the idea? Well, there's a couple of things here. The reason knight f4 is brilliant is because the move bishop takes c4 is the follow-up. You don't actually take back. You just go here and attack the rook. And the idea is, like, let's say rook a1 check, king b2, rook takes rook. White can just take back. And the attack on black does not stop. Knight f6 is still on the way. So for instance, like, I don't even know where black would move here. It's very hard to make a move. Like, let's say you play bishop to d7. I'm gonna take, and you cannot stop this. Like, black is in a weird situation where he just can't move a single piece. This is the only move that doesn't lose immediately, and look at what can happen. I mean, this is nuts. Like, the fact that this is not losing for black is a catastrophe. You cannot take this because you're mated, and if you wait one move, I take h7 and I get out, and it's game over. So bishop to g8 is the idea. Bishop c4 for white, and then this entire attack comes down, apparently. So knight f4, and then bishop c4. Now white, instead of that, Bagirov plays knight takes f4. And this is a bad move. But it's a bad move because black uncorks a 17-move combination. I'm not joking. You think I'm exaggerating. But if you had the patience to make it this far in this video, be prepared to be absolutely blown away. In this position, seeing the incoming danger, black naturally played the move, rook takes f4. Now, rook takes f4 is credited with a brilliancy. That's the third brilliant move of this game. But really, the brilliancy comes later. White retreats, and material balance is now restored. It's 0. It's completely equal. The winning idea here by black is not a move with the bishop, the knight, or the rook, or even the queen. It's c3. Black is weaving a checkmate net. Black is taking away the escape square of the king, moving the pawn out of getting captured, and ready to go knight b4, rook a1. And shockingly, this king is safe. Nobody can get to the king, because to get to the king, you got to be over here. And nobody's getting there. This is unbelievable. White plays bishop c4. Now, the only move to keep advantage here, not anywhere on that second rank, rook a3, the only move, because you need to make sure this pawn stays protected so the king cannot come closer to it and take it. White plays f takes g4. All right. Black plays knight to b4, rook a1 is mate. That move makes sense. That's another part of the combination. Rook a3, knight b4, there's mate. What does white play? King b1. And now, folks, brilliant move number, what is it, 4? Try to find the winning move here for white. This is, for black. This move is just shocking, and the next one together with it is just unbelievable. Now, you might be looking at this and going, c2 check. No, look at what happens to the eval bar. That is a mistake. You need the white king boxed in. You do not need to cash out of the casino just yet. In this position, Edward Gufeld played bishop to e6, a loss of a full bishop. A loss of a full bishop. For what? What is the idea? The idea, twofold. Number one, deflect a defender of that square. Number two, the queen will come here by force. You see, when you play combinations, you need to play tempo-winning moves. Moves that create threats that make your opponent have to acknowledge them. In this position, black plays brilliant move number 5. Knight to d3! And now queen b8 is with a check and the queen is hanging. And there is no way to get to the black king on h8. Queen b8 is going to be game, set, match. And black saw everything that you're about to see. Queen f7, queen b8 check, bishop comes back to block so that the king can run out. And it looks like there is no more attack. In fact, if this and this and this, there is no more attack. But Gufeld saw something better. In this position, black finishes off a 17-move combination by playing knight b4 check. The pawn prevents the king from escaping, and so does the knight. The pawn is defended by the rook, so the king takes it. Knight d5 check. The pawn is defended by the knight, which is hit by 2 pieces. But the queen attacks the king. King a2, mate in 1. King a4, mate in 1. King c4, queen b5 is mate in 1. So the only move, queen b2 check. King d3, queen b5, and white resigned. Because you cannot escape the whirlpool. Your only option here is to play king c2, and I follow you around, and it's ring around the rosy and you get mated. Here, check, mate, and if you go here, it's mate again. Oh my gosh. Instant replay. We gotta see that one more time. VAR's gotta confirm it. Look at this move. This all started with a white brilliancy, but instead of that, one inaccuracy, and suddenly, boom! Weaving the mating net. Sneaking in with the knight and the rook, preventing the king from escaping. Sacrifice of a full bishop, sacrifice of a full knight, preventing white from defending themselves, and queen b8, and then the hunt, sacrificing the rook. Oh my goodness, the pawn is the anchor of the entire position, and the game is over. The Mona Lisa of chess, ladies and gentlemen, spectacular.